everybody. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Let me get rid of this. Oops, hide. Get over to comments and I'll wait for a couple eyeballs to show up. I know we had a couple people waiting. So just a few, 30 seconds. So it doesn't take that long for people to start popping in. We shall see. So just let me know when you're actually here. And hey girl, hey, Jamie Gibbs. So awesome. All right, we got 6 sets of eyeballs, and I am assuming that everything is good as far as sound because I've got the whole setup normal. Hey, Carol Korleski. Deb, awesome. Jamie, you're on Facebook? Okay. So I did have to share it last night. So hopefully that popped up in the reminders. Are you guys getting the reminders or are you just no 8 o'clock, come look for me? Hey, Cruz. Because Facebook, like, I don't get reminders anymore for Sue's, even though I follow her page. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Peggy. Um, I follow her page, and then, every Friday night, I expect to get something to pop up, and I don't get it. But I just know to go look. So, yeah. Hey, Di. Awesome, awesome. Okay, we got a bunch of eyeballs. Let's go through. We'll just talk about a couple things that are kind of important. Welcome. I am Tony Tesler, Tony Stamps. Cheryl, you are getting reminders. Okay, awesome. So some people are getting them, some people aren't, maybe. Hey, Carol Martin. Carol, you got the reminder. Okay, awesome. Gail's here. Awesome. Carol W. Yay, awesome. We're already up to 3 Carols. I think we need one more Carol, right? Because we've been getting a four Carol party. Hey, Nancy. Um, so yeah, again, welcome. I'm Tony Tesler, Tony Stamps. That's me. We're gonna we do all kinds of stuff here. So anything paper crafting related, it's all about it. So a couple things, stamp and rewards, those changed on Tuesday. So now every order you get, you have to have your online account, which you have needed before to place your online orders anyway. You should get a pop-up next time you log in saying, do you want to opt in for these rewards? You want to opt in because then you're going to get 10%. Like whatever you spend over $20, you're going to get 10% of that back in rewards points to use later. So now in particular is the time to go through all your cardstock, your colored cardstock, especially 8.5 by 11, because that is going up with the new catalog. So it's going up from $11.50 to $14. That is the biggest increase out of all the increases, and that one hurts. So I got a lot last week. So Nancy, you got the reminder. Awesome. Hey, Lisa. So check your stash. Like I always think of when I use for my Christmas cards, I tend to use, Night of Navy, Cherry Cobbler, Garden Green I got, Old Olive. I think I got Real Red. Like I got a lot. I really wanted Blackberry Bliss, and apparently that's out of stock till like May. So that's not gonna do us any good. But anyway, go through your card stock, okay? And now, you'll get your rewards to use later, like when the new stuff comes out. Another increase, Paper Pumpkin is increasing starting with the May kit. So starting with the Majestic Mountains kit that will be next month um, for May. So that is going up, and it's already gone up because I went and got an extra kit for somebody else, and it's $27 plus tax now. I think it was at 25 plus tax. I can't even remember because I always get like the yearly thing and buy it all at once. Which reminds me, so if you don't want to like have a subscription, if you just want one kit in particular, apparently now I can just go and create like add a subscription and I can change the address. So I don't have to before I would have to add an extra kit to my order. They would still ship separately to me. I'd have to get it and then reship it out to the person or have them come pick it up. Well, now I found out I can just change the address and have it shipped directly. So I think that's pretty cool. So if you don't want to go through the hassle of doing a membership and you just want a kit here, onesie, twosie, let me know. So paper share, I got that blog posted a couple days ago or over the weekend. I can't remember. So that is $28 for the new catalog paper share. There's like, I think 7 different new packs, new paper packs. If you need shipping, $9. Okay. And then my retirement sale, April 27th. So that's a Sunday, 6 o'clock. And I still owe everybody the list. I've got to get that posted in the next couple days of like all the stuff that I'll be selling. This is when I do like my yearly retirement sale. So everything's 50% off the catalog price. So you're also going to save on the tax and shipping that I already paid. Um, you'll just have to get it. You'll either have to pick it up for me, or if you're out of state, we'll have to ship it to you. And I'll just need you to pay for the shipping. Okay, so that's that. And let's get to it. So, Jamie, you feel like we're going to need a night where you share your cards on my spinny thing? Oh, that the cards back there are just like cards that I've made here, you know? So, and I actually do try to rotate it so it's not in the same spot every time. Because I don't know if anybody can actually see them. So, you're funny. All right, so let's go to solo layout. So, what we want to make tonight is a mini scrapbook. And my goal was to use these, oops, what are up? These are the everyday happiness papers. Oh, scrap piece of white. Um, so this 12 by 12 pack was an interesting, sometimes they come configured differently. So normally, hey, Gloria, um, normally they come 12 sheets. There's 6 designs, 2 of each. Well, sometimes we get these different ones where it'll be like 3 patterns, 4 of each, which this is. Or sometimes in the scrapbooking workshop kit things I've seen, we'll have 4 patterns, 3 of each, or something, something different. So this one was one that had 4 patterns, 3 of each. I ended up using, out of a 12 sheet pack, I ended up using 8 sheets. And then these are the scraps that I have left over. So some big-ish scraps that I can definitely use on cards and, maybe to tart this album up later. I don't know. I'm not going to throw any of this away yet, even this little, 1/2 inch piece, because I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But I felt like these colors are generic enough, like they're good for any occasion, right? Um, Cardstock. I ended up using 19 pieces of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So think about that. That is almost an entire pack of paper. I used, some different colors, but 19 sheets total. And that's if I didn't mess anything up and have to cut it as we go. So, measurements, I'm going to have that on my blog this weekend. I'm actually going to a crop on Saturday, and I'm probably going to be updating my blog first when I get there. But we're going to go through it as we put it together. Oh, and here. This was the prototype that I made at a different crop. So we see it's about 6 by 9. We're using the chipboard that comes in your paper pumpkin kit. So the only piece I cut down was for the spine. The front and back covers, it's the whole thing. I didn't trim it down at all. So we're going to have a pocket. These are pocket pages. And it's just so like 2 base pages, and we're going to doll these up, put different things on each side. Another pocket. I was thinking of having a double pocket here, but when I was cutting it the other day, I was like, no, that's too much. I didn't want to scare anybody. I want you guys to feel comfortable that you can actually make this, and I think you can. So, Nancy, what's the name of the paper? The name of this paper is Everyday Happiness. Yep. And let me just double check. Yep, Everyday Happiness. And like I said, it's one of these that has like, it's not 6 patterns, 2 each. It's like 4 patterns, 3 each. So it's still good variety. And I really like the, I think it's still generic enough for just any theme. Like we can go birthday, we can do floral, we can go beach. Like it's going to be, I like it. So let's start with our base pieces. Now in the link to the video, I included a link to um, Tamra Kilgore, I think her name is. So she's the lady at Country Craft Creations. Um, like she's the owner, and she does a lot of tutorials on her own. Like she has her own channel on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, YouTube. Um, so she developed this, it's called the lay flat method. All right. So normally with a scrapbook, a mini scrapbook, before we were like piecing together cardstock and coming up with a piece that was, bigger than this, wrapping the whole thing as one. That made the spine, like it made it very stiff. So, and invariably it would want to stay popped open a little bit like that. With this lay flat, like it really truly does lay completely flat on your table. I love it. So it's a three-piece thing, but it's going to come together real easy. So I put her link in just because, she's the original one. If you want to go watch her video, um, maybe she has some different tips. It's about 2 years old. But we're going to start with 2 pieces of chipboard. So these are the chipboard again that you get from Paper Pumpkin. I did not cut these down. I thought they were like 6 1/8 by 9. And yep, that's what it looks like here. For some reason, I thought they were actually 6. So, 6 1/8 by 9 1/8. Well, all my measurements are assuming that this is 6 by 9. And so that doesn't matter. Same piece. So you'll need 3 pieces of the chipboard, right? 2 that you're not going to cut, and then 1 that you want to cut down to 1 inch by the 9 and whatever it is, 9 1/8. The important part is that they should all be the same height, which they are. Okay. So cardstock, we're going to glue and wrap these. We're going to have 2 pieces that are 8 by 11. So how I get that math is you take this piece and you add 2 because we want 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch on all the sides. So that's adding 2 inches to the width, 2 inches to the height. Okay, just so you know how to get it. Now, a lot of people, and I usually do this, is stick this together with adhesive sheets or score tape sheets or something. But plenty of the designers I watch just use regular glue. So that's what we're going to use today, just because a little bit easier. And I figure everybody has glue. Like you might not have adhesive sheets. Okay. And I want you to be able to make this like with what you have. So we're just going to use regular glue, this kind, not the I feel like the art glitter and the barely art is going to dry too quick and I might get lines on the outside and I don't want that. So we're going to go with this. Do your best to get it centered. Now I have purchased from Country Craft Creations these little, like, what do you call these? L things, or they're spacer bars. You use this with, you need your, like a score pal or scoring tool. So you put your cardstock all the way up to the left, add this. This is a 1 inch, and you're just going to use it to, keep everything straight. I don't necessarily need that for this because we're just eyeballing. It's not critical. I do like those for some normally. All right, but I don't want you to feel like you have to have it. So what we're going to do, my trusty blue ruler. I know. You know what we need is we need a ruler that has US or, whatever standard, like our measurements, not metric on both sides. Or for the metric people, have it metric on both sides. So always grab the right side because that's always annoying. All right. So be generous with your glue. And like I said, just eyeball it. Just try to get it in the middle. All right. So once you glue it down, now you want to come back in and you burnish, burnish, burnish. Press as hard as you can because that's going to make this glue spread out, even out, not leave marks. So I would do it front side and then flip it over and do the back side. Okay. And I like this, this wide edge. And I thought about doing one of these ahead of time, but I was like, it's really not going to take that long. All right, so then we'll do our second one. So again, these were 8 by 11. One thing I found about using this chipboard from Paper Pumpkin when I was using the adhesive sheets when you go to pick up, like pluck at the corner to get the adhesive sheet like peeled off, this chipboard is not that great. It would want to peel the chipboard up. So, I mean, it's perfectly sturdy for making album covers. But like just the material itself, not a good quality because I mean, it's only put in our paper pumpkin kits to keep things protected, right? But I love using them. And I know I'm not the only one that has a big pile of this. I did when I was, sorting my cardstock and filling up my lateral file cabinet. I did throw some of this chipboard away because I found some wonky size bits, and they had to go. All right, we're gonna do this. Then we've got for our middle piece. Oops. I dropped something. Oh, this other thing I made. So this piece, and this is Pretty Peacock that I'm doing the covers in. This is 4x11. So the difference here is I still want an inch top and bottom. So this was 9 inches, so that's 11. This time I want an inch and a half on both sides. So you add 3 inches across. So this is 4x11. And same thing, we're gonna add our glue. And again, just eyeball, and you want this in the center, all right? Top and bottom, left and right, as close as you can. Now this would matter. You'd really want to get your spacers out. Like if you had stripes, if you had some kind of pattern that you wanted to be straight, then I would use some kind of tool. And you could even just use rulers along with your scoreboard, something to make your own spacers. All right, let's do this. Now this glue takes a while to dry, so hopefully that's gonna take care of itself while we get back to these other pieces. So we're gonna wrap these like we would normally wrap a cover. So we go in and each corner, we're gonna angle these. You wanna leave about a 1/16 of an inch or so off of your corner. So see that? That looks to be about, just eyeball it. You don't want to cut it right up on the corner of your chipboard, but you also don't want to have like an inch off. So everything I've read, done, heard says about 1/16 of an inch. And there is a tool that you could use for this, but I don't think that's worthwhile. All right, and then we're gonna cut these. If you get it too close, like it's not the end of the world, it can be fixed or it can be dealt with. Adjustments can be made accordingly. All right, let's do this. Now you are gonna need a, let me get this bone folder. So just like we've done in the past, we wanna train our cardstock. So you just wanna bend it a little, like be gentle. I like to do the little bit of rocking because you don't wanna just bend it and then slam it, you don't want to rip your cardstock. So I think just gentle bending, bending, bending. And then we'll come back in and we'll do some scoring too. Now I'm not necessarily rushing through this, but it's really not, hopefully I'll get this done in an hour. I tried to keep the page elements simple enough that it's interesting, but not difficult. All right, now we've got these bent. So I like to bring this flat end and I'm just gonna run it straight up, right? So getting that as close to that edge of chipboard. Now, when I've done other ones, I've brought in my score tape. And this one, I'm just gonna go with some glue. And I am gonna switch to the art glitter glue for this. The tape itself is quick. and it's a good hold, the score tape or tearing tape, whatever. Um, but like I said, I want to make sure everybody can make this, and you might not have that kind of tape. So, all right, if you have to use this kind, that's fine. If that's all you have, you'll just have to hold it down, and you may have to clip it, just because it takes so long to dry. All right, now let's go. We're going to put glue right along here, and then all the way up. And I like to start in the middle, pull it down, and you want to pull it as tight as you can, and then just work your way out. And I'm just going to hold that for a sec, because I don't know if you can see, like, there's a little bit of glue leaking out here. Like, that's okay. But I just want to hold this, and then let's burnish, burnish, burnish. Really get that stuck down. And I'm just going to leave that glue there, because why not? It'll be extra. Whoa, that glue just flung out of here. I think I filled this up last week. All right, down from the middle, and then just work your way out, and then hold this. Just use all your hands. Jamie, you finally recycled 2 paper pumpkin boxes full of chipboard. Oh, well, I hope you saved at least a couple pieces to try to make this. And really, so like I said, I used 8 pieces of the designer paper. There was 12, so I have 4 left. I mean, if there's a pack of paper, that you want to give it a go with, like, it's just paper, really. All right, and then same thing. Now, before I do the short ones, I want to come in and I just want to push that little bit down in the corner. And then, oh, look at that. Did you see that bubble? Again, let's do that. Yeah, I had, I don't know how much I ended up throwing away. All right, I'm just gonna hold this for a minute. Now, the fact that I cut my angles, like maybe too much of an angle, like, see how we can see the chipboard through that? Don't worry about that, because we're gonna be adding a piece of cardstock that is mostly gonna cover this up. And I can always go back in with like a Stampin' Blend or something and color that in if it really bothers me, which it might, but we'll see. Yeah, depending how, sometimes people will cut their corners different, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute as soon as I can. All right, let's do this. Burnish, burnish, burnish. Okay, let me just show with a Post-it. So say this was my thing. I went across and just cut like that. So some people will have a smaller angle, right? So you have more cardstock, and this is probably the way to go. I shouldn't have just whacked it, but in the interest of time. But normally I will cut them, at a smaller angle like that. But all right, so we've got this piece covered, looking good. So see how nice this is? We've got a nice smooth edge. I don't know if you can see this, but there's nothing's cracking. Our cardstock is good. Adding that glue at the seam really helps that as well. So they say. This is what I'm told. All right, so we'll do that. And I'm just gonna hold this. That would be too simple. I want it simple. Yeah, I was trying to figure out like interesting page things that we could do that are just like not too tricky. I want everybody to be successful and give this a try. And we'll talk about that when we get to the page part, because if you don't want to do it, don't do it. All right. Pulling that straight back. Oh, Jamie, what is your last comment? Let me see. You still have pieces left in the kits you haven't finished yet. Okay, well, there you go. You got plenty. All right, and again, more glue coming out the edge, but that's fine. I like that this is really quick, this glue. All right, smash, smash. Just smashing the corner in, but I really cut it so close that there's nothing really there, which is good. All right, so that, and then I'm gonna press. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, next week I'm gonna have to be on Wednesday night, not Thursday, because we have birthdays. So we are going to dinner. It's my husband's and then a friend of ours. So we're all gonna just go out and have a combo birthday deal. But that'll be on Thursday. So I will be here next week on Wednesday night. All right. And then our final piece, well, cover really. So these are our front and back covers. All right, holding that. And let's burnish, burnish, burnish. Get all that glue up there. I really do appreciate that this glue, does not stick like the green glue, like to you or to your projects later. All right, so we've got our front and back covers. Now for our spine, so again, lay flat method. We are going to, let's do the same thing. We're gonna bend our cardstock, bend, bend, bend. This one we're gonna treat a little bit differently for the middle. So again, I'm just gonna push that up, fold this over, and get your bone folder in here. All right. So now we're gonna glue here. Now, some people do this lay flat, the spine piece, differently. Some will cut the corners off, meaning this spot right here. I'm not interested in doing that. I just wanna keep everything on there. But what we wanna do is get in there and press up against that side of the chipboard and then come back down, right? And get our glue out. All right, let me just, so see this indentation here? You want that, okay? Because that's going to help everything move and actually lay flat. So I'm going to go back on this side. And again, I'm squeeze out. So that squeezed whatever glue out I had. But that's what we want, all right? I want that edge. And then we'll do the same thing here. I don't need a ton, but whatevs. All right, so we're going to go back over. Oh, you know what? I'm like, this one isn't going as smooth because I didn't bend it at first. Something always goes wrong, right? All right, so I'm holding this part. Burnish, burnish. Now I'm going to go into the side because I want that groove. Okay. And then groove on this side and push out. Now, if you don't have this kind of scoring tool, this one's going to work. It's just like this is a rounded edge, and I don't care for this anymore because it really makes my cardstock, I get like shiny marks on it. I don't like it. Okay, now we're not done with this piece. Now let's flip it over. we want to take, I'm taking this side. We want to gently find where that chipboard is and run your bone folder right up next to it. All right. See, so we're making that mark at the edge of our chipboard. All right. So we're doing this. That's going to start training our cardstock to move. All right. And might as well do it on this side too. Both sides. All right. Now this, if you have thinner cardstock, so like if you have some of the stuff that really like from Joann's or Michael's, I don't think a lot of that is really thick. You may poke a hole in it, like just be careful. You want to push it down, but not so much that you, rip it. All right, now we still have to gently bend this, and I'm going all the way this time. All right, give it a little push. Same with this one, slow, steady, push. Then I want to bend it the other way. Slow, push, just so it's going to easily go back and forth. All right. The slower you go, the less likely you are to get cracking. All right. And here, that's looking pretty good. All right. So now we want to clip. I can really tell now how crooked I got that mounted. Look at this. Ugh. We want to trim just the tiny little edge off. So what Tamara and her designers suggest you do is hold your scissors up against this side right here, and then just tilt in a little bit. And we want to cut from our score line in just a little. So tiny little bit. All right, flip it, same thing. Butt your scissors right up against there, turn it in, tiny little bit. So we just have some angles. All right, same thing, turn, trim, turn, trim. So I got just a couple little pieces. All right. Otherwise those would poke out, and we don't want that. Okay, now attaching this, we need our scoreboard. You need something that's going to help you keep everything straight. So this edge is straight, this edge is straight. So it doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter your spine, what's up or down. All right, so what we're going to be doing is we want this edge, we want it to get not right on top of the score line, but pretty close. And we want to use our scoreboard because this is going to help us keep everything straight. So I went and watched Tamara's video again last night just to be sure. She was saying glue these together so you have a smidge of difference, like to keep it folded like this. I don't like doing it that way. I like to just sit it on your scoreboard and put glue so that there's maybe a 1/16 of an inch gap in between, because we still want it to bend. And you will play around with this. Say you get it 1/8 of an inch, and that's like a little bit too wide. It's not the end of the world. It will actually open and close much easier. You just want to get it as close as you can without touching that score line. So, all right, I'm pushing everything up because you want it to be straight. All right, and let's give it a good burnish, really at the top and bottom too. And really, if it's not that straight, like, it's not the end of the world, right? And I can tell mine might not be. No, that looks pretty good. All right, flip it over. Do the same thing. Burnish on this side. So see how that flap comes over, and that's what's attaching your spine. All right. Now, same thing on the other side, but I have to just use a little, I have to put it a little further out. So, because I still want everything to be straight. This is looking perfect. Okay, more glue. And I really want to get it as close as I can up here. Now, some of the designers still like to use tape and glue. Like, it's, you do you. If you want, if you feel better about using tape and glue, that's fine too. All right. So again, trying to keep everything straight. All right, and then I'm gonna burnish, burnish, burnish. I think this is the trickiest part. Another reason I like this lay flat method and doing it this way is, you can change this. You don't have to have it all the same color. But it also leads you, like, you can use 8.5 by 11 more. Like, you don't necessarily have to have 12 by 12. Obviously, depending on the size of your book, but we're no longer having to piece together cardstock to make a giant piece. And like I said, it lays nice. Let's get that little piece of schmutz out. Okay, so we've got our cover. Now we'll decide what's the top and bottom. It doesn't really matter, but see now, look, it'll bend this way. It'll bend this way. Everything nice, flat. I think I'm gonna have this be the front. No, looks like I did get a smidge of cracking, so that's gonna go on the back, but I love it. So look at how good that is. So before, if you did like the one piece together, it would still be so tight that your book would want to stay like that. And that's when you really have to use like a ribbon closure or something. So we don't necessarily have to have that, but I love it. Okay, next. So I called those in my instructions, I called those covers and spine, chipboard, pretty peacock, wrap covers and spine, inside spine. So now we have to put a little piece here. That's going to be in Lost Lagoon. And this is 4 by 8 7/8. So it's going to be a smidge from the top and bottom, and then we're just going to eyeball. And actually 4 inches is this exact width. So, that's like a happy accident. All right, so now I just got to get that straight. So glue, tape, again, whatever you want. Okay. We're going to glue this down, and then we're going to go in with the burnisher. And that looks good. And I'm going to start in the middle. And come down. And yes, that's hanging out a little bit because remember mine was crooked. All right, so really just get in here and get all that glue spaced out. So adding this piece, it gives it more stability because if without it, the album will, it'll move, right? So we need something. We need this to like keep it contained. All right, now our spine, we did all the scoring here. We kind of got to do the same thing here. You want to gently bend this. All right. Oops, let me scroll up. I missed a whole bunch of comments. Sorry. Has anyone received their paper pumpkin for April? I have not yet, Gloria. Oh, Nancy, you got yours today? Okay. Yeah, I think mine just shipped, I don't know, last week. So what's today? The 17th? So maybe it'll go. All right, so we want to gently bend this up. Where it's bending, right here, take your bone folder and just gently go down. Okay, couple times. Because we want to encourage that to bend. And then at the bottoms, really burnish again. Like get that glue to stay down because we don't want anything to pop up. If we do, we'll just have to like go back in with some more glue or just let it go. All right, so we've got this. This is really like 2 layers of cardstock. Kind of bulky. All right, so that's good. So do you see here what I mean by bending it up a little bit and scoring right where the bend goes? All right, and I'm gonna turn around and do the same thing on this side. So again, like bend it, get it started, and then come back in and go with that seam. All right, and it doesn't hurt to burnish the top and bottom again. And if you find you don't have enough glue, like, I feel like that could use a smidge more glue right on this corner. So I'm just gonna hold that down and do some more burnishing. All right. Now I chose Lost Lagoon because I'm also gonna add Lost Lagoon here. So if you wanted this to be all the same color, go for it. Let me show you in my prototype. I did not, because I was working with different papers. So I did the same green here, but then I covered this side with black. So you decide, if you want this piece to be the same as your pages. That's what I was going for. Okay, so I said this was gonna be my front and back. Now we have to add, oh, my nose is itching. And I've got a zit coming up. Like, I'm 56, still getting zits, really? It's too dumb to talk about. Yeah, whoever, Gloria, if you have your kit already, yeah, put it on my sharing page, or Sue's, like anybody's, really. Sometimes people will post pictures in the Paper Pumpkin group. All right, glue on that. Next, we want to make a hinge. So we're going to make two pages that are going to attach. So we need a hinge. There are a lot of different hinge systems. Just research. There's like a gusset hinge kind of accordion fold thing that I really like the best. But we're going to use a U hinge, right? So we need a piece of Lost Lagoon. This is 1.5 by 8.5. And we're going to score it at 1/2 inch from each side. All right, so see, 1.5, we're going to score 1/2 inch. And then you can either flip it around and go 1/2 inch, or you could keep it there and score it at 1 inch, because this is 1.5 inches wide. All right, we need something for these pages to attach to. All right, let's fold and burnish. So I like this for a quick album, but I really like the other kind. All right, so here's our hinge. So they call it a U hinge because it's shaped like a U. So this 1/2 inch piece here, we're gluing in the center of our spine. All right, top and bottom. So my album was about 9 inches tall. That's why I chose this. I cut this down 1/2 inch because you don't want it to go to the very tippy top, because if anything's going to end up being crooked or something, like, you want to give yourself a little extra room. That's why I did 8.5. So I should have about a 1/4 inch border, and it might help me to fold this all together as one piece, because then I'll be able to see it better. All right, so glue. And again, if you want tape, use tape. I'm just using glue, A, in the interest of time. B, I think this is fine, this glue. All right, now I'm gonna have to stand up, because if you want to get your ruler out, get your ruler out. But I'm gonna be okay eyeballing this. Okay, that looks good. And burnish, burnish, burnish. Okay, so we've got our pieces that are our hinges, and I'm just going to run this way. Our hinges that we're going to attach our pages to. So I tell you, when you're making an album, one of the first ones I made that I actually took a class online, and she did a video, and like, it was actually probably 3.5 hours long or something. This was all made out of black cardstock, and that is tricky to see. All right, so we've got our U hinge. So we're gonna have a page here and a page here. 2 pages that we're gonna doll up. And then we're gonna add some side bits here. So what do I have here? Oh, I've got my pocket pages. I guess we will go ahead and, oh, Duh, these are the pocket pages. So 2 pieces, 8.5 by 11. So the full sheet. Our hinge is 8.5 inches long. Oh, and you know what? I meant to trim this a little bit. Ugh. So I don't want these straight edges. I want a tiny little bit of angle. Can you guys see this? Like, just want to cut that a tiny little bit off. And I should have done that before I attached it. And if you don't get it right down to the end, that's fine. We just want to take a little bit off the top of it. Okay. One of them went flying, but just teensy little bits, okay, to cut off. And that's just going to make it a little bit easier getting our pages in. I think I said this was the top. Front and back. Let me just say front, back, just so I don't mess it up again. All right, so angle your hinges, okay? Now, our pocket page. So it's going to be a big pocket page. So we're using an entire sheet, 8.5 by 11, scoring at 5.5. So I'll just score it completely in half. 5.5. And again, Lost Lagoon, 5.5. Now by pocket, this is going to be a top loading pocket page, really. All right, let me get that glue booger up. And fold this. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to glue these. We're going to attach it to our hinge, okay? So it's going to get glued, and we want to keep everything as straight as we can. I always start with the back page and then move forward. So if I had 4 hinges, I would still start on the very last one, all right? Now, when I glue this on, so I found it easy to do this. Get it where you want it. We want the edge of our page to be a smidge off, maybe a 1/16 of an inch off of this hinge score line. If you have it too close, it's going to be hard for your page to turn. So I know it's hard to tell with the cardstock being in the same color, but that's about a 1/16 of an inch. Everything looks straight this way, this way. So what I do is I've got this in place. I'm going to stick my finger under here. So I'm holding the bottom. So I'm holding this part down. And I'm going to put glue on this side first. Try not to move anything. All right, fold this down. It should stay right where we wanted it. All right. Press, get all the extra glue out. All right. Now flip it over. And now we can see it's really, it's about an 1/8 inch off on this side. But now we want to make a pocket. So I want to glue here and right down here at the bottom. All right, so glue and glue and press. All right, so it is that easy to make our pocket page. Now, I'm not going to make a circle, like cut a little circle out of the top. I'm not going to do that. You can do it if you want, but I would certainly wait, all right, because I'm going to cover both sides with some designer paper. All right, now fold that back over. Now we do the other one, same way. Have this hinge up. Bring our page in. And again, we're going to go, about a 1/16 of an inch or so. This time I want you to use the top and bottom of the page that we put in first to see everything. If you can see it down here, we want everything to line up straight down here. Okay. Second verse, same as the first. Exactly. All right, so again, yep, that looks pretty straight. I'm just gonna put my hand in there, add glue. Oh, and I messed up. I lost my hand spot. All right, I'm gonna get it. There we go. There we go. Good, good, good. All right. Crisis averted. Okay, burnish, burnish, burnish. Then we come over to this side and same thing. Glue down here. And yep, just seeing how far over I can go with the glue. All right, press. And we've got our pages. And yeah, now I realize like this might take more than an hour. Well, I guess I talked for maybe 15 minutes. Trying to figure out a good time. I mean, like, how long is it really going to take us? I'll know when I'll have to go back and watch the video myself, or at least check the time on it. Okay, so we've got our pages. Next, flippity flippity, inside covers and pockets. So inside cover, and then we'll do pocket. So we've got 2 pieces of Lost Lagoon, and we're going to put it over as far to the left as we want, as close to that edge. These are 6 by 8 7/8. So when I cut this, again, I was using 8.5 by 11. So I had to cut it on the 11-inch side. I had to cut it at 8 7/8 inch first. So then I had, scraps. If you want to stamp on this or whatever, like do it before you put on here, but I'm not stamping on any of it. So you just see how this goes. And then when you plan yours, you'll know if you want to do any stamping. All right, so 6 by 8 7/8, because again, our album was about 9 inches tall. Our inside spine cover, this was also 8 7/8. So if you're wanting to adjust measurements, just keep that in mind that you want those pieces to be the same height. And all right, that is good. So I'm already happy with this. I love it. Not happy that I can see that corner, but I'm going to get over it. All right, burnish, 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 all the burnishing. Okay. And then we're going to do the same on the back side. Again, 6 by 8 7/8. I think we're going to be able to get a lot of pictures in here. I mean, just from the sheer size of this, plus the fact that we're going to have like all these pocket things. Oops. Oh, I wanted that to come over a little bit more. Ugh. All right, more glue. Tell you, this glue really wants to grab and dry very quickly. All right, I want it right there. Okay. Again, crisis averted. All right, pressing, pressing all the burnishing. Okay. Now, I want to put pockets down here. So we're going to have 2 pieces of Lost Lagoon. These are 4 by 7, and we're going to score at a 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So the long side, and then both short sides. So 1/2 inch, turn, 1/2 inch, turn, 1/2 inch. Now, if you wanted to do, like if you were trying to save paper, you could do a 1/4 inch here. Like I do that sometimes, but it's really, it's a little bit more difficult to work with. So 1/2 inch is, you should be able to manage that pretty easily as far as folding it back and dealing with it. All right. Now, this is a gusseted pocket that we're adding. So again, we want to cut this corner off. And this one really doesn't matter. I can go straight across like that because these, the sides are going to get tucked under. All right. Now we want to fold and burnish all of our sides. And I did not do all the scoring ahead of time because I really wanted you to see everything. I feel like sometimes when you see the videos where everything is pre-cut and scored and ready to go, it's kind of like misleading on how long it really takes you to get prepared and do it. All right. So when I put these gusseted pockets in, I hold the sides in, and now I'm just eyeballing. So when I cut this 4x7, this part here should be 6 inches, which is the width of this piece. So I should be able to get this edge to edge. Perfect. All right. Then we've got 2 pieces of designer paper. This area here is 3.5 by 6. So my designer paper is cut 3.25 by 5 3/4. And again, I didn't put this on first because what if my pocket ended up jacked up? I would have had to trim something. Now I'm using this like leafy stripe pattern just because I think it stays with a generic theme. I didn't want to, I like these flowers, but I didn't want to use the flowers just because I don't know what this album's going to be for. All right, I do glue on the bottom first. And again, hold your sides, and I want to get this edge to this edge. And Jamie is right, I nailed it. It is perfect. All right, putting that in, and let's press, open it, and now I can go in and burnish. And if any of that glue spills out, I wipe it up before it is trapped inside my pocket. Okay, now, hopefully you guys can still see, I'm just gonna put glue on both side flaps. I'm just gonna flip this up, hold it in place, give it a little burnish, burnish, burnish. And then we'll add our designer paper while we're here. So I did for all my designer paper layers, I did like a 1/4 inch border, which I usually don't do for cards. But it made it easy for this one. And I liked it. You know, it always depends. Do I want a thick border or not? But look at this. So the pocket goes all the way down and side to side. So I love it. All right, now we're gonna do the same thing here. We got our pocket, and let's do dry fit first. Yep, perfect. I'm gonna glue our bottom flap. And get this all the way edge to edge at the bottom. Oh, I love it. All right, and now burnish this. Really get that glued down. And then we will add, I gotta check the camera. Yep, you can see this. So I'm adding glue to these flaps. Oops. And we're gonna squeeze, put those up. You always forget about the 1/2 inch give when you're making your pockets, and then they're trash. So the 1/2 inch give, yeah, it just makes the pocket pop up more. But you know, sometimes I make flat pockets where I just glue it straight down on the sides because I don't want it to be roomy. I want it to be a tight pocket. So it just depends what you're going for. But in the end, it's just paper, right? All right, and then same with this designer paper. This was 3.25 by 5 3/4. Oopsie. Okay, perfect, perfect. So now we have 2 pockets. These are pockets, top loading pockets. We're going to put little booklets in there. So next we're going to make our pages. So like we're going to add some flips and stuff to the pages. Oh Lord. So I'm considering this page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. So pages 1 and 4, I'm going to do the same. And pages 2 and 3, I'm going to do the same. All right. Some, I thought that was plenty enough. Like just have 2 different designs to work with. We want to keep it easy. And before that, I had, booklets. So, like I said, we can put little booklets in here. So I had, what do I have? 8 by 10. I've got 3 pieces here. Pecan pie, wild wheat, gray granite, because those are colors that are in this pack. These are 8 by 10, and I'm going to score them at 5. Now I may have to trim them down because 5 may be too wide. But I went with this because I stuck my ruler in my prototype pockets, and I'm pretty confident that 5 will work. All right, so booklets. These can be, I mean, they're just like a card really, but you can tart these up however you want. Use them to put more pictures, right? So you could put a little something here, picture, 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 big picture, picture on the back. All right, the whole thing is just more pictures. And then we can slide this in. So this is, all right, I'm gonna have to adjust measurements. I'm gonna take a 1/2 inch off because, yep, that's a little bit too wide. So we're gonna say these are going to be, let's say 4.5 by 8. I'm gonna take a 1/2 inch off. All right. And let's try it again. All right, 4.5, that goes in. That's still a little tight. Once we add pictures, it's gonna add more. So let's say, let's just go 4 by 8. So your cardstock is going to be 8 by 8, scored in half at 4. And let's see. And that's assuming that you glue your sides the same. All right, that's good. That's a good size. And 8, they're going to poke up just a little bit. I can shove it down there, but I'm just going to leave it so you can just see it. Okay. So same thing with these. I'll just trim these down, but 8 by 8, score at 4. All right. And I'll just cut the 1 and put it in there. You guys, this was my very last piece of wild wheat. I did find that I ordered another pack. I had it in my stash. Thought I missed out completely, and I was kind of upset. But I still have a full pack of wild wheat. So I'm happy. All right, so here's our booklets. I love it. I mean, it really gives you a lot of extra room for pages. Large tags, 2, 4 by 8. So I did gray granite and pretty peacock. Funny. So these I just intended to put in the front and back pockets. And you could add more. I'm just doing the 2. All right. You could add 2 or 3 in each, really. Because let's just see that. Oh, yeah, that'll work. So you could have 2 up front, 2 in the back. All right. Booklets, large tags. And if you want to add these, add ribbon, maybe add a border, that would be a nice area to use some of the scraps that are left. Like I have that little 1/2 inch, whatever piece of scrap. You know, you could add this just down the side or something. Tart those tags up however you want. All right. Next 2. Pages 1 and 4, we're going to make top and bottom flips. So we're going to have a part that flips up this way and flips down that way. So I have got 4 pieces of Lost Lagoon. These are 5.5 by 6. All right. So remember, this is 5.5 inches wide. Yep. So 5.5 by 6. And we're going to score. We're going to score along the 6-inch side at 5.5. All right. Because that's going to give us a 1/2 inch flap. All right. Score 5.5, 5.5. Now I say score 5.5 because that's going to make sure that this square is 5.5 by 5.5. If I was to say just score it at a 1/2 inch, what if this wasn't cut exactly right? Then your 1/2 inch piece would be good, but then your 5.5 might not be 5.5. So I try to remember that, but I forget sometimes too. All right, 5.5 and 5.5. All right. Now again, I'm gonna fold these, and I'm just gonna trim like a smidge off. And that's just in case we don't get it perfectly straight. We don't want the edges poking out. All right. So a 5.5 by 5.5 surface area. I've got 4 pieces of designer paper that are cut 5.25 by 5.25. All right. Okay. So fold our tabs. And these are really our hinges, right, for our pages. And you know what? I really only have to do like page 1. And then I can just show you the page 4 like in the final. I feel like it's only 5 after. Let's just go. All right. So you're going to take this 5.5. We've got our 1/2 inch strip. Fold this back. We want this edge to go right to this edge. Maybe I do need to pull this out in case it gets glue on it. All right, so I want to glue this so it's going to be flush with that edge, and our sides are going to be flush. So you really just want to keep everything straight. And I'm going to stand up for this one just so I can see. And you might have to like maybe flip your book around, whatever you need to do to make sure you can get this flush side by side, like side to side, and at the tippy top of our pocket. All right, that looks good. Flip it up, get this extra glue off of here. Okay, so that's our top flip. And then we're going to add our bottom flip. So same thing, we're going to turn this around though. So our hinge is down at the bottom, and we're going to put this edge to the very bottom of our page. All right, let me, I was trying to do better about watching comments, and then I completely get involved in what I'm doing. Oh, Anna, okay, she had to leave. That's good. At least she can come back. And you guys, come back later if you can't stick around. It's really not critical. Okay, so I got that flush on the sides, open up. Now I do want to use magnets to keep this closed. So I'm going to put my magnets in before I add any designer paper. And I do have to pay attention because I'm going to use magnets on the back page too. So I have to make sure, what am I doing for this one? Oh, I'm going to flip it in. All right, I'm going to put the magnet just right here in the middle. So I want it about 1 inch off the edge of this paper. Okay, because I am going to cut it, I'm going to cover it with some designer paper, but I don't want this magnet too close to the edge. So about 1 inch seems to be good. And then I like to add a little piece of tear and tape just to cover it, keep it in place, and then flip this over. Just let that go, and it's gonna land right on top. So let's add glue, flip again, add our tear and tape. Okay. So now we can add our designer paper. So I went for this pattern. It's got like the raindrops on the back or whatever they are. This I thought could be sand, or it could be, floral, like you can add whatever. But we've got similar prints. These are 5.25 by 5.25. So we'll just pull that up. And I'm gonna, oh my God, you guys. All right, let me get this down and then get this, wipe this off. What they say, well, Dave always tells me, like, if something lands like bad side up, then the devil's around. He's like, your mom never said that to you? And I'm like, no, my mom did not ever say that to me. I never heard of such thing. But so we always say that, like, if we drop a sandwich, like, and it lands jelly side down, oh, the devil's around. All right, flip this up. And we're going to add this one right here. Oh, that got it too. Yikes. All right, hold please. I got to get this. I need to get this off of here. Oh, I'm going to have to leave it because that's going to rip my paper some. Okay. That's fine. I do not want to. I want it this side. It'll be fine. All right. I'm over it. I'm going to have to put something there anyway. All right, peel this up. Okay. So there's our top flap and our bottom flap. Okay. Now, so 4, 4. Yep. Now I did not cut anything to cover both sides, the inside and the outside, because really, if you add so much, if you cover every layer, it's just going to make your pages really thick. You can if you want. I just did not. But I did cut 2 pieces because I want to cover up these the hinges. So this is 5 1/4 inch wide by 8 1/4. And I just want to cover up that whole thing. Okay. There we go. Love it, love it. Let's burnish this down. I think I will finish pages 3 and 4 after. Just because you get the idea. Like, all right, so we flip and flip. You guys, I love it. All right, now page 2. So again, page 2 and 3 are going to be the same. And I'm actually going to put all my page 4 stuff together so I can add those. So 2 and 3, I want to have like a flip seed, like a double tip in. So a tip in would be if we took something like this and the hinge is on the side and we would glue the hinge over here, right? So it tips in, either a flip or a flap or a tip in. So I want to do Lost Lagoon. What is this? Oh, I already scored one of them. Oh, nice. Okay. Lost Lagoon. We're going to need 2 pieces, 8 1/2 by 9. So again, it's 8 1/2 inches tall. I wanted it to be the full length of my page. So that's why 8 1/2 inches tall. So 8 1/2 by 9. On the 9-inch side, we're going to score at 4 and 8 1/2. So this is going to give us a 4 by 8 panel and a 4 1/2 by 8 panel. And then our 1/2 inch tab that we're going to glue it on. All right, so again, let's take a little bit of the sides off here and fold and burnish. Tell you, this really extends your page. All right. So now we're going to take this, and again, we're going to attach this first. So I want to attach this hinge to this side, okay? And I'm going to need to fold it all up. All right, so keep it nice and together. Yeah, Jamie, I love it too. I just thought this would be so cute. And what if you had like a birthday theme or something? Really cute. All right, so I'm just getting that edge to edge. There we go. So look how kind of thick, I don't know if you can tell, but see how the pages are just growing because we're adding so much cardstock on. Let's burnish this. Okay. Oh my God, I love it. Okay, so here, when we would flip our page, flip, then flip, and then flip again. Oh my God. All right, so again, I want to add my magnets first. And here's the second piece. Just put that off to the side. So I'm going to get 2 more magnets. Something, oh, it's stuck to me. Ugh. So I don't want to put the magnets right where the other ones are. See how they're going to land? So I kind of want to put it like down here. So let's just put it, boop. Oh, shoot. No. I'm going to have to hold that in place because that's really wanting to grab. Let's add our score tape, which I should have grabbed a little bit. So we got to hold that in place. Show that magnet who's in charge. All right. Now, I really want the magnet to go, I'm thinking on this side, because it will hold, but the more cardstock you add, this might not want to hold on that edge. I'm going to put it, I feel like when I add more paper, I really want it to be on this flip. So what I'm going to have to do is, all right, flip that. And let's see, a tiny little bit of tear and tape just to put it on top of the magnet itself. Peel it up. And I'm just doing this so I can just push this paper over. Bang. Pick it up. There we go. Now I can add more tear and tape. I just want this magnet over here as close as I can get to this actual. There we go. So that's going to keep that closed. I love it. All right, now we've got different layers here for our sides. So we've got this side. Oh, you know what? I bet I cut too many. Nope. Okay. This side, same thing, 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. So I've got these pieces. All right. So we'll do that. I'll just do that one first. 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. Now you can see just from the size of papers that I'm cutting, 6 by 6 is not going to be the easiest to make this album with, just because I'm trying to cut everything the full length, like, one solid piece. You could piece 6 by 6 pieces together, 6 by 6, then a 2 by whatever. But easier 12 by 12. All right, so we've got that. Then remember, this is 4 1/2, this is 4. So I've got 2 pieces. Well, I said 4 because again, same. Let's do the bigger one. So I've got 4 pieces, 2 for this one, 2 for the other page. These are 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. So you decide, let me get this over here. Do I want this? And actually, let me bring in the smaller pieces. The smaller pieces are, for this, 3 3/4 by 8 1/4. So I cut these so that I want plaid and that. I kind of like that. And then that would be this one. And then this one. Or do I want to look at the plaid? Oops. I think I want to look at the plaid right here. So that's how I'm going to do it. All right. So let's just go backwards, work ourselves out of here. So this middle piece, again, this is 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. So you're going to need 2 pieces this side, one for this side and then the back side. And that goes down pretty easily. Then this side again, 3 3/4 by 8 1/4. Okay. So yeah, making an album live, like there are some whoopsies, but I think we're doing fine. Okay, flip that in. And then we've got again, oh, I wanted this one, right? I can't even remember. Like that. Again, 3 3/4 by 8 1/4. Jamie said, what? Option 1. Yeah, cover it with a pick or an embellishment. True. Okay. That. All right, get that. So yeah, I did not make any embellishments for this as far as like cutting out little things or whatever, because again, I don't know what pictures I'm going to do with this. But the fact that it is generic for any theme. I mean, maybe not Christmas, but anything else. All right. All right, let's do that. Let's give it a good burnish. But, you know, cut a couple of flowers or a couple of seashells, like something. Ooh, I love it. And really, when we do the other flips, like that's going to be 6 panels across. And our book is still, we have plenty of room. Okay, so nice, 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 nice. Let me put this panel back in. The other thing, so I will leave pages 3 and 4. Let's get this back in here. The other thing that I wanted to show you, if you want to add, so we have double tip in pages 2 and 3, front and back covers, add ribbon. So if you want to add ribbon, man, I really love this. I'm going to add some more tags. Digging it, digging it. Totally. And this feels so sturdy. All right. So for the covers, I had 2 pieces of, I've got tone on tone. So I've got Pretty Peacock, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. So again, you know, our album is kind of like 6 by 9. So I just took a 1/2 inch off of that. Did I say tipped in? No, I said tip in, I think. Drink of water. Then I used designer paper again. I think this is kind of generic. This is 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. So if you want the flowers, use the flowers, right? But I'm just going to do this side. Ribbon. So see how this is laying nice? Like it's not alligator. It's not an alligator album, meaning it's not popped up like that. It's going to stay closed by itself, but let's just add ribbon. Why not? I'm going to use the wild wheat ribbon that I still have, and I have enough. And I'm just going to go, this is more than 17 inches, but maybe 20 inches. However much you need to tie a bow, if you choose to add a ribbon closure. All right. So I like to use, this is where I do like to use Fabri-Tac and tear and tape, because I really don't want these handles popping out. And I will measure, because of course I am. So 9 inches, so I want this to be at about 4 1/2. So I'm just gonna draw a line right on there, and I will add. Now, some people, when they put ribbon, the ribbon closure, they will start the ribbon like this close to the edge. I am not a fan. I want the ribbon to come from within so that there is like no chance that somebody would tug it so hard that they would break it. All right, I love that. So Fabri-Tac. I should probably store this upside down so that it's always ready, but that's fine. Yikes. All right, so we'll start our ribbon. And there we go. And I'm going to let that sit there for a minute while I glue my other. Let's glue this piece on. So again, designer series paper. And if you wanted to piece this together and use different scraps, go for it. If you wanted to emboss this, this layer you could emboss. This one would not fit in any embossing folder, just because it's too tall. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, burnish, 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 all of the things. Okay, now I am not going to pop this up. I am going to glue this straight down, and I think that adds more stability. And I really want to glue more too, like right around this ribbon. All right. Now, when I decide what this album is going to be for, I will be able to add like a focal point to the front of my album. But for now, I'm going to have to just leave it like this because I just don't know. But I would probably put something a little bit here, maybe die cut some numbers like for the year. So now I can see I did get a little bit of cracking there, but I'm going to live with it. I mean, really, at this point, what are you supposed to do? And it's not the end of the world. So, whoa, look at that big glue booger. Hold on. Ugh. That Fabri-Tac is, I don't want to get that stuck on anything. Okay. So I think I'm as far as I'm going to go tonight because the back cover is going to be the exact same thing as the front cover. I'm going to cut some more tags. And, I've got some more of my little booklets. So again, like, let's just see how many pictures. Let's just say you could put 4 pictures on each one of these. You could do, well, let's say 3, just for averages, because you could do 2 small ones and a big one. You could also add a piece of white just for journaling, okay? Whatever you want. Carol, I'm so excited. I know you're going to make one. I love it. Same thing with this. So we could have picture, 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 picture. Let's say 5, and I've got 3 of these, so that's 15 plus 6, right? Let's say at least 3 each, so that's 21. Picture, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Whoopsie, I didn't put that in the right order. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Basically times 2, right? Because the rest of this half is, so let's just say 60 pictures you could get in there. Now, granted, not all of them are going to be 4x6. Like there's going to be some you're going to trim down to 4x4, or, we could do our little, we could add a bunch of our little ones, and then you could have even more. So still, I think the opportunity for, I would say, at least 60 pictures. And I love it. It's such a good size. And again, we used our paper pumpkin trash, like the chipboard, to make this. So, and practically a full pack of 8.5 by 11 paper, and 8 out of 12. So what, 2/3 of a pack of designer series paper? I mean, really, cardstock and paper. Let's just figure it out. 30 some ish dollars in paper, and then glue and all that. But thank you guys for spending time with me. We at least got like half the book done. But that was also, I think, a better idea to have two of the pages the same. So Peggy, but I didn't really get it completely done, but mostly done. But you see how when you plan it, so like how I had 1 and 4 are the same, and then 2 and 3 are the same. Once you have that design, like I think it's easy and it's got enough interesting bits. So I know some people make albums and every page is different. Just like they're probably the ones that their scrapbook pages, every single page is different. I'm not like that. When I scrapbook an event, I make all my pages are the same layout when I'm making them from scratch. Like if I need 4 2-page layouts, 12 by 12, I make all 4 layouts the same and put my pictures on. I don't do a new design for every single page for the event. So, but that's just me. Let me get this in here. So, Rose, you're here. Awesome. I suspect you will make one of these for your grandchildren. Um, Maybe something in mermaid stuff or something. Yes, Lisa, not trash. It's repurposed. All right. So, thanks you guys for hanging out. Again, next week I'm going to be here on Wednesday because I won't be home on Thursday. And next week I'm going to do probably things that are like the retired stuff that I'm keeping, like my favorite things like bird's eye view. That's the only thing I can think of right now. I already made a list, but oh, a Snowy Wonder, like one of the holiday sets that's retiring. So it's stuff that's retiring, but that I'm keeping, because that'll be like our last chance really to get retired stuff. And I will have my retired list items up in the next couple days. So you only charge the granddaughters $20. Yeah, happy Easter, everybody. Yep. So, all right. Thanks again, you guys. Likes, shares, thumbs, like all the good things. And hopefully we'll be seeing Sue here tomorrow. And then Gail. Oh, Gail, if you're still here, are you gonna be here on Sunday night since it's Easter? I mean, I probably will be done not doing anything by then, but you just let us know. Okay. Thanks again, you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.